Keep it somewhere here. Okay. So what I'm saying is now we got a selection tool. We see the tooltips and all. Now I am saying we got this marquee, and you right click. Okay. If you right click, it will give you the options. इसमें क्या क्या है? So got a rectangular marquee. So if you're selected, say for example here, and you are seeing that I have missed the girl, don't leave the mouse. Press the space bar, adjust your things, and continue going. Okay, and now it is this guy is selected. This much of space is selected, and if I move it, it is not moving the. It is not moving what? It's not moving the pixel. It's moving the selection area on. But if I move the pixel, that is done with the move tool. Then select here the move tool. Now if I select it, you see it's moving the pixel now. It has moved what? Pixel. And because I am done doing this thing on the background layer, okay, it fills up with the background color. Whatever the background color here is, it fills up. जो यहाँ पे select होगा color, ये उसी से इसको fill करेगा. But now right now I have moved the pixels. Okay, there's difference between moving the selection and moving the pixel, but I don't want to right now move the pixel. Later on I would like to do it. Maybe I want to put this photo in another photo and all, then I would like to do that. That's not an issue, right? Getting. And if you are selected, control D to deselect, control D to deselect. Now if I want to now I'm again rectangular marquee. Now I just want to select it. Okay, and I want to increase and decrease the size. Okay, then you have a select, and then there is a transform selection. Okay, yesterday we see control T to transform. That's different. This is transform selection, wherein I can increase or decrease this selection, right? I'm making this selection bigger or making this selection smaller, whatever you want to do. Okay, now enter, press enter. Okay, but if I say here control T, okay, it's with the pixel. It's not with the selection. It's with what? Like we say with the move tool, it was with the pixel. Now control T, again these comes now those boxes where you can increase. But if I increase the size or decrease, you see the pixels are increasing, not the selection. Okay, selection stays with that also, but it is the pixels which are increasing or decreasing. I want to maybe I want to make the bigger face girl or something like that. Do you understand? This is one more thing. I'll say Control Z right now. First press Enter, Control Z to get it back. Now there are many more things we can do with the selection tool. Like for example, I am saying that if you see the selection, it selects from the top to bottom, right? Okay, if I go to this photo, okay, if you see here selection, it goes from top to bottom. See the height, width versus height, that's not same. It depends upon what I do. It is as per my movement. Okay, if I increase more height, less width, it is showing me width is 1.5 and height is 7 something. If I do less height and more width, it is doing like that. But now if I press the Alt key, I press what? And do the same thing. Now you see it is center. ये center से शुरू हो रहा है और increase हो रहा है. Again depending upon my thing. Am I going more on height or less on height? Right? But it starts from the center, right? You see, it starts from the center and expands. If I press the Alt, if I press what? ठीक है ना? When I press the Alt key, it increases through the center. But if I don't press the Alt key, it starts from the top corner and goes down. Okay, and if I press the Shift key, if I press what and try to make it, see width and height, what's happening with width and height? It is same no matter what I do. It is making the square. It's making what? If you want a square selection, then you press the Shift key. Okay, so Shift for square, Alt for center, and rest is a normal. Now if I have this selection, okay, I want to fill it with some color. Maybe you choose any color and you say Alt backspace. Okay, you press Alt backspace to choose that color into it, right? I want to add to this selection, or I want to minus this selection. I want three things are there: add, subtract, and intersection. I want to add to this selection, I want to subtract to this selection, I want to do what is the intersection of the two selections and select only that part. Okay, for example, I want to cut off this corner. Okay, either I press the alt, I press what? Alt means cut and shift means add. So I am pressing the alt and selecting it, and now you see it's cutting that portion, selecting only this much. Okay, it's selecting only what? This much. If I choose a different color here, for example, and say alt backspace, okay, now you see the selection area is different. It has cut it that area. You can also add. Alt से हमारा cut हो गया ना. Now if you want to add, yeah, shift. Again press shift key and then add this much area. Now you can add this much area. Alt backspace to fill the color. Now you see you can put up the things. Okay. If you press both alt and shift together, press both alt and shift together and try to do this much like this. Whatever is the intersection between the two, whatever is the, that much will be selected. Okay, let me choose a different color, maybe this one, and alt backspace to fill it. Now you see what was the intersection between the two selections, that much is selected. Okay, we can do the same way here. As you could see here, this one, what is it saying? This is new selection, simple, jo ho raha tha. This is to add. Okay, if you press this it will add. What is this? It will subtract. Okay, if I say Control Z, if I say firstly Control A, for example, it will select all. Control A to select it all. And if this swatch is here, RGB, what is the white? Show you not white, this is the white. Okay, I'm filling everything with the white. Okay, to clearing all the selection jo bhi tha na, or I could have done different way. Now what I'm doing is I am saying I could do this way also. For example, मैंने एक selection बनाई, अब मैंने इसको press किया हुआ है ना, so I can add, not necessarily you can add only there with it, you can अब add इसके साथ भी कर सकते हो और इसके बाहर भी कर सकते हो, ठीक है ना, बस में आ रही है. And if I press this, it will minus. It was like alt, pressing alt, it will minus that selection, right? It is minusing that selection. And if you say what, this is intersection, if I choose this much, it will, whatever the intersection was, it will take that much. Do you understand? So maybe tomorrow you want for example, if I go to the background color and I make it white, 255, 255 and 255, that's white. Okay, I'm making background white, whatever, because it maximum times it fills it. For example, I have got the selection now here. Okay, no, select it, rectangular tool, select this, fill it with some color, maybe red. Okay, alt this thing. If you want to see if the foreground color is red, background color is white. If you want to use not from this color but rather foreground background, then we have alt shift and backspace, control shift and backspace. Okay, see, what is the foreground color? Red. What is the background color? If I say control shift and backspace, it's filling it with the background color. It's filling with what? If I say alt control and backspace, it's filling with foreground color. जो भी यहाँ पे colors है ना, foreground background. You can even switch between the foreground background like this. Okay, you click on that arrow, it will switch, and you can choose any color, not a problem. But control alt backspace, if I say control shift and backspace, it is the background color. If I say alt shift backspace, it will fill it with, yeah, it's a foreground color, na? Foreground. This one is foreground, right? This one is background. Does it make sense? Now I'm putting it control shift backspace to background color, control shift and backspace. Now I want to cut. There is an elliptical tool also, as you could see here, elliptical marquee. which will do like this, elliptical. Okay, does it make sense? So now if I say simply backspace, okay, backspace means cut it, and it will fill that portion with whatever color you want. I want to make it to the foreground because foreground is the white. I say okay. Now that portion is gone. You deselect it now. Now you can create by that way different shapes. If you like to create different shapes, some icons, you want to create your own icons, we can do that. Does it make sense? Now there is also a feather. What is feather doing? The feather creates that haze on the edges. Feather creates what? We have these, these are clear. These all are clear, right? These are like adding, minusing, and intersection. Now there's a feather. For example, I want to, for example, मैं इसको यहाँ पे select करूँगा rectangular marquee क्यों? But I selected here, for example, some 20 pixel feather. Okay, 20 pixel feather. Now I may add to this selection or subtract to this selection. If I subtract, then I have to use what? Alt, or I can select this one, right here, this one. So, or you can press the Alt, that's your choice. I'm doing this thing, it will subtract that. It's not subtracting anyways, something has happened wrongly. It should have subtract, क्योंकि selection तो मैंने की नहीं अभी actually, ठीक है ना? पहले क्योंकि वो जो picture है वो select हुई नहीं ना. For example, this is the selection here. Okay, it is now subtracting the two. इसने क्या ना इसमें subtract इसको, यानी कि अगर मेरे पास Ctrl Z, देखें, now I have this is selected already, right? Now I want to subtract this much from here. Okay, it is subtracted, and it should create us. Press enter to select it and Ctrl D to deselect it. Now feather has not worked because maybe छोटा था. We could make a more feather, say 90 or something. Feather कम था मेरे ख्याल से. Okay, make it 100 maybe. Okay, so select some area from this. Okay, now as you could see, it's feathered. As ये आ रहा है ना, इसमें ये haze आएगी इसकी, यानी कि अगर मैं इसको select करूँगा यहाँ से, ये वाला, क्योंकि normal selection करेंगे पहले यहाँ पे, normal selection पे ये addition हो रहा था ना. Select this much, okay, and press the backspace, delete it using some foreground color, say okay. Now you could see it has feathered. Has what? यानी कि जो मैंने इसमें काटा उसके edges normal नहीं आ गए, अब वो haze आ गई ना. That's called as a feather. That's called what? Does it make sense what I'm doing? Okay, now Control A and fill it with the background color, foreground color. Okay, now there's also what's called a ruler. Okay, ये normally ये नहीं होता है Control R, ऐसे होता है आपका ये. If you want a ruler, you have to say Control R to get the ruler. Get the, and the ruler is a guide. It's what? It's not visible in a print. It's a guide only. I can just drag it from here, ruler, इसको यहाँ पे लिया. Now as you could see, there is also the in inches. These are in inches, these things. So we could say also pixels if you like to, or you can change that, right click pixels or right click inches, because rulers we usually work with inches, which is like a margins drawing. Okay, I got one margin here, I got another margin here. Okay, I got the from right some margin here. Say I want to make some border kind of thing. Okay, na? So I got some, and I want to fill them with some colors, different colors, right? So now these margins, they're not visible, they're only a guides. You shouldn't put in printers, it will not come in a print because it is only a guide. You can hide it, Control H to hide it all, or Control H again to get it back. Teacher, now if you want to change the borders or say maybe I got a right click and rectangular. Okay, you can do perfectly job this thing. You can have a different colors. Okay, इसमें ऐसा क्यों आ गया selection में? क्योंकि फेदर बहुत सारा है, 100 का फेदर है, 0 कर दो उसको, ठीक है, बोले 0 to feather. Okay, 0 pixels with the space. Right click rectangular. I am selecting this guy. Okay, and I'm selecting this guy also. Okay, अगर मैंने select किया, what should I do to add that corner also? I have to add. Either I press this add or I press the shift key. वरना अगर दूसरा जगह क्या वो डिसलेक्ट हो जाएगा ना, अब दोनों रह रहे हैं ना. Okay, and I want to fill them with some yellow color maybe. Okay, alt backspace to fill the yellow color. Now these two corners I want to fill with something else. I want to add this also. I have to press shift, right? You have to do practice, buddies. Maybe green, alt backspace to fill the green color. I'm just putting some borders or some application kind of thing. It's not a big deal, huh? It's a simple thing. This is your first day, so I have to show these things. Nachuni matlab kusai kya. Now these two guys, maybe I put up the same color to save the time. Shift. Maybe I put up the red color. Alt backspace to fill the red. Then maybe these two guys with a different color. Okay. And shift to add any selection you want. Maybe I put up some blue color. Okay. Alt backspace to fill the color. Now I got the border, right? Now you press the Control H to remove that guide. That won't come in a this thing. Or sometimes you want to put some margins and then do these things and that things. Sometimes you will also use these tools to hide the background, है ना. अक्सर हम ये करते हैं ना कि हम पेरिस गए नहीं तो फोटो अपना उठाया, पेरिस का फोटो उठाया, उनको मिक्सअप कर दिया. We can do those things also later on. Okay, maybe tomorrow we see those things. ये बात समझ में आ गई आपको? Okay. Now we may also little advanced to this. We can actually convert our selection to a layer. We convert a selection to what? Layer. Maximum times we don't do it on a single layer because whatever we are doing on the background. That is not a good way to do things. Okay, so whatever you do on a separate layer. You add a layer like this simply. You add a layer here, you add a layer here plus, you add a layer and do that to that layer, whatever you want to do, so that the original photo हमारा वो वैसे ही रहेगा. For example, I want this Abrar to look little fair. Okay, when I will not do the original photo. Original photo I keep it in the same way. I put up a transparent layer. What's a layer? I told you yesterday. Shak transparent आसान layer pat. बैकन नीचे खोश कर दीजिए layer दे. You understand? And उससे जो भी मैं काम करूँगा ऊपर वाली layer पे होगा. यानी कि at any moment of time if I don't like it, I switch off that layer. Original photo is there only, right? So never mess up with your original photo. That's the big first important thing when you use the Photoshop. So whatever you do it in a separate layer. Don't mess up with the original photo. Original photo को वैसे ही रखो, ठीक है? Because at any moment of time you want to go back to the original. You understand? अगर आपको अपना काम ठीक नहीं लगा या कुछ हुआ किसी वजह से आप अपने वापस आना चाहते हैं, you will not do anything to the original photo. Okay, change that original photo from this originality. You keep it there and you keep a new. Maybe it's good looking and whatever we want to do on that creativity, you put up all your creativity on that, but you keep that photo there and you keep it in a separate photo. Does it make sense? Okay, here we go with these kiddos. These are the kiddos. I want some kind of stand out kind of thing. I want their faces to stand out as just a frame inside that. I want to just create a frame out of this photo inside photo. But using this selection tool, this is the application of tool because we will like to have some kind of application with each and every tool. Let me do the last thing of it, that creating some kind of frame, photo inside photo, so that my other part of the photo stays black and white. This is the idea, that other part of the photo, this maximum time is done by the people while they wanna maybe किसी एक बंदे को वो stand out करना चाहते हैं. They put up around that frame around that, उसका border आ जाएगा और बाकी black and white हो रहा है, लेकिन बाकी भी उधर है. जैसे इस क्लास के अंदर स्पेशल तो मैं ही हूं ना, तो मेरे ऊपर ये होगा कलर्ड हो जाएगा और बाकी ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट होगी. एमसी बॉयज ना सार कुछ एनीवेज जरा आसान जाज की गम ये नुगु मुझे क्यों चाहिए hardly laughs. मगर ये पता आसान चुना ये पता क्या साथ आसान चुना ऐसे ये किसी एक की बात नहीं हो रही है इस पर एडजस्ट गैसी इस दे मैं पर तेमिस पर लागू का anyways how we do we want to do what we want a selection to the frame selection to the so this is my background layer as you could see the background so I go on selecting say for example I selected this much okay 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 I'm selecting this much of thing now I go to the layer I say new I say layer via copy layer via so whatever I have selected uski ek layer banegi yahan pe as you could see in this layer you see rest of the things is white and that portion just selected is there okay does it make sense so my photo it doesn't कुछ हुआ नहीं इसमें कुछ लगता नहीं लेकिन मेरे पास दो लेयर्स बन गए एक वो पार्ट बन गया लेयर ये इसके ऊपर चिपकी हुई है ये लेयर जो है इट डिपेंड्स कि कौन ऊपर है जो सिलेक्टेड है वो ऊपर रहेगी ठीक है ऐसा नहीं है कि वो ऊपर है तो मैं नीचे वाले पे काम नहीं कर सकता जो लेयर में सिलेक्ट करूंगा उस पे मैं काम कर सकता हूँ इफ आई सिलेक्ट दिस दैट मींस आई विल वर्क ऑन अ बैकग्राउंड लेयर इफ आई सिलेक्ट दिस दैट मींस आई एम वर्किंग ऑन द सिलेक्शन लेयर लेकिन अभी मेरे पास दो फोटोग्राफ्स है अभी एक फोटोग्राफ नीचे है दूसरा में खाली वो सिलेक्शन पार्ट है अब वो चिपका है ना एक बराबर दिख नहीं रहा कि डिफरेंट है मगर ये है उधर ठीक है अब मैं बैकग्राउंड लेयर को सिलेक्ट करूंगा यहाँ पे क्योंकि मैं एक ह्यू सैचुरेशन वाली लेयर बीच में डालता हूं जहां मैं कलर उड़ाने जा रहा हूं जहां कलर लेकिन वो ह्यू सैचुरेशन लेयर जो काम करती है अपने बिलो लेयर पे काम करती है इसलिए मेरे को सिलेक्ट करना है कौन सा बैकग्राउंड वाला ताकि इसके बीच में उसके ऊपर वो आ जाए ह्यू सैचुरेशन वाली वो मैं यहां से करूंगा ये जो है ना ये वाला सिलेक्ट करूंगा ये टूल में बहुत सारी चीजें हैं एक ह्यू सैचुरेशन वाली लेयर आ जाएगी बीच में ओके डज मेक सेंस कौन सी लेयर आ गई जहां मैं सैचुरेशन को हटाने वाला हूं अब आपको लगेगा क्योंकि भाई साहब ह्यू सैचुरेशन लेयर अपने बिलो वाली लेयर पे काम करेगी तो क्या वो बैकग्राउंड पे काम करेगी या वो उस वाले पे यानी कि अगर मैं सैचुरेशन हटा रहा हूं अगर मैं सैचुरेशन इस फोटो में उतना नहीं दिख रहा क्योंकि फिर भी दिख रहा है लेकिन उतना नहीं दिख रहा वो ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट हो गया ना तो ये जो वाली है असल में क्या हो गया जो बैकग्राउंड वाली है वो सारा ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट हो गया वो सारा ही ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट लेकिन जो दूसरी लेयर मैंने इसके ऊपर चिपकाई थी दैट इज हियर वो वाली उसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं हुआ क्योंकि जो भी वो बैकग्राउंड लेयर तो ऊपर वाली लेयर तो रह गई ठीक है ना तो इससे मुझे इनका जो फेस है ये दिख रहा है कुछ आई कुड हैव डन बेटर वे सम जो बेटर फोटो होता कोई इसमें ना क्योंकि पीछे ऑलरेडी बैकग्राउंड में ब्लैक किया तो जो कलर्ड उसमें ज्यादा दिखता दिस वाज द चॉइस ऑफ द फोटोग्राफ वाज नॉट गुड फॉर दिस so anyway but still we could see the blonde here and all right so and मुझे ये करना चाहिए था बिल्कुल उसका फेस के नजदीक आना चाहिए था वगैरह वगैरह anyways I am done with this if you see the layer this was as you could see hue saturation layer if I go a little bit more on this okay you see hue saturation on the background layer on the top of it so it worked only on what अब मैं इसको थोड़ा बॉर्डर दूंगा ताकि ये अलग से दिखे I go to FX here. I go to what? I go to FX and I say stroke. I say what? In stroke, yeah, stroke is coming. It should be inside, okay? Because I'm a stroke inside. And I'm going to size some, मेरे ख्याल से 40 से कम ही है 32 29 से ज़्यादा करेंगे 38 ठीक है फिर देखेंगे कलर वाइट कर सकते हैं आप जो भी आपकी मर्जी है कलर क्या करोगे फिर यहाँ पे अगर वाइट नहीं है तो 255 RGB जब सारे 255 होंगे तो इट्स अ वाइट कलर मिक्स ऑफ ऑल बिकॉज RB 255 GB 255 and blue B 255 when you mix all the colors together it becomes white if you keep all the zero it becomes black if you keep R 255 rest zero it becomes red full red so it can have a combination of colors so right now I say white only okay and I say okay but it does not work right so something is wrong what have we done I said stroke नहीं इसने काम ही नहीं किया इस पे कुछ हमने गलत किया क्या गड़बड़ किया फ्रेम तो दे रहा है लेकिन उधर दिखाया नहीं इसने कलर वाइट मैंने रखा साइज रखा 38 थोड़ा बढ़ाते हैं इनसाइड रखा इसको नॉर्मल ब्लेंड ओके आई शुड से ओके। ओ क्यों नहीं हो रहा भाई? क्योंकि मुझे सिलेक्ट करना चाहिए ना कौन मैं, क्योंकि मैं बॉर्डर किसको दे रहा हूँ? बैकग्राउंड को, बिकॉज हु इज विच इज सिलेक्टेड, इनफैक्ट ह्यू सैचुरेशन लेयर सिलेक्ट, ये किस पे करना है? लेयर वन पे करना, सो यू शुड सिलेक्ट द लेयर वन, राइट, एंड देन डू द सेम थिंग वट एवर वी आर डूइंग, स्ट्रोक, ओके, दैट्स व्हाई इट वाज नॉट डूइंग, बिकॉज दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट, यू शुड सिलेक्ट दैट लेयर। लेयर समझ आ गया ना क्या है? इससे क्लियर हो गया मेरे ख्याल से। सो स्ट्रोक अभी साइज 49 पता नहीं क्या है, ठीक है लेकिन ज्यादा लगता है 49, 35 रखेंगे, ठीक है। इनसाइड है वाइट कलर है, से ओके। Now it gives little bit of some kind of a frame, okay? Now it looks little bit those faces out. So what is happening here? Important thing is that this layer is the second layer, and the back layer is the background layer. These are two layers. There's a transparent layer over it. So I did something on it. I did something on it. Right? Does it make sense? So that's all for today, and I think should I say anything about more about these marquee? Yeah, I have to say to finalize it, there is something like if you see right click on it, there is elliptical, तो पता ही elliptical करेगा ना, then there is the single row marquee, सिंगल रो करेगा काम, जब मैं इसको करूंगा ये रो में डालेगा इसको, एक लाइन, एक पिक्सल वाली लाइन चलेगी, ठीक है। इफ आई से ऑल बैक स्पेस टू गिव इट ए कलर, सो एक लाइन आ जाएगी यहाँ पे, दिख रही है हल्की सी लाइन। इसी तरह से सिंगल लाइन, यानी कि ये जो है ना, ये सिंगल कॉलम जो है, तो एक कॉलम सिलेक्ट होगा ऐसे, ठीक है ना। जस्ट गिव इट ए कलर, एनी कलर यू लाइक, एंड देन यू सी एक लाइन आ जाएगी कॉलम वाली, यानी कि एक लाइन का सिलेक्शन, कॉलम एक लाइन का सिलेक्शन। उसमें ये होता है कि कभी कभार हम जो है फोटोग्राफ में भी वो लाइंस डालना चाहते हैं, कभी मार्जिन जैसे डालना चाह रहे होंगे, एक लाइन वाली, एक पिक्सल वाली, तो उसमें ये चीजें हमें जरूरत लगेगी, ठीक है जी। ओके, एंड दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे, वी विल continue this class with different tools every day.